The FIM, or the Federation International Motorcycle, it's a little bit different. It's Federazionale International Motociclette. I can't speak French, but FIM is leaving the sport of Supercross. Is this good? Bad? Or not a big deal at all? Let's get into it. Roll the thing.
What chance does a privateer have?
Welcome to Supercross.
What do you say to a factory ride?
So let's get into the bad, because that's just the more fun topic to talk about, right? Let's be Debbie Downers. The bad about FIM leaving Supercross. We're losing the world designation. Well, Supercross really wasn't a World Series anyway. I mean, the most we went to was Canada. It's the United States neighbor. There's lots of traveling, right? There's no Australian Supercross, European, Qatar. We don't travel, so is that really a big deal? No. The more important question to ask is, why is FIM leaving? Because Supercross is the biggest cash cow, or so we think, of motorsports in dirt bike racing. It brings in a lot of new funds. It generates a lot of money, a lot of hype, a lot of popularity. I'm guessing it's also the biggest spender when it comes to getting to the races, outflow of just expenses. So what might be the reason? Is it because NBC is also leaving, and at least that's the rumor, that the sport is just going broke, so FIM is ditching? Could be. Could be the bad thing. Could be the end of everything as we know it when it comes to Supercross. Could be bad. That's it. That's really the only bad things I have to say about this. Yeah, you're as surprised as I am that Johnny doesn't have 100 to 1 when it comes to bad versus good ratio. So let's talk about the good of FIM leaving Supercross.
Boo, you whore.
FIM has a lot of hands in a lot of different cookie jars. They've got MXGP, they've got MotoGP, they've got Superbike, they've got Super Enduro, they've got Flat Track, they've got Supermoto. That's 6. We can think of what are 2 series that I feel like are doing fairly well. Well, MXGP is not doing well. They get like 18 riders. I'd have to say MotoGP and Enduro. They get a lot of people involved in those 2. So that's a 2 to 6. That's 33% ratio as far as doing something good, because all the series aren't doing that well, right? Digressing, using a lot of words. It's not a very good ratio. 1 and 3. Okay. Not the best ratio. Good riddance, right? Got less chefs in the chicken.
In the chicken.
In the chicken. Good riddance.
In the chicken.
Chefs in the chicken. Chefs in the chicken.
In the chicken.
Chefs.
Right?
Chefs in the chicken. In the chicken.
Right?
Chefs
Chicken.
In the
chefs.
right? Maybe for dinner. Less chefs in the kitchen. Ironically, AMA and Feld now have more control over the sport. Yes, it could be devil's advocate. They could destroy the sport because now they've got more control over it, but I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. They're getting rid of Wada, which the World Anti-Doping Agency, I'm going to say, is good, because the drug testing is non-existent really with USADA, because USADA, you have to pay a huge premium for a whereabouts program to follow these riders, and we don't have a whole lot of money in the sport. So I highly doubt they're spending millions of dollars on a drug testing program when I've talked about the concussion program that wasn't having a whole lot of money being put into that. Why would you put it in the drug testing? If you have a small pie you're not going to have a majority of that pie taken up on something that you don't really need. And it's something the sport has survived without for a long period of time. So now that Wada is gone, these guys, no pun intended, but can stick a needle up their ass all they want. They're not going to get caught. It's good news for the sport, right? Could be good or bad. I'm going to say it's good news. Let the cheating commit.
If the rumours are true, it was pretty much all of them. If they were all doping, it was a fair competition, and he was first among equals. So was he really cheating?
All seriousness, having another organization that you have to abide to, having them gone could be a good thing. What do we have going on right now? Bikes are just leaving showrooms. Everyone's making more money with selling these darn motorcycles. Yes, this might be a false security where you've got a supply and the supply goes down and the demand doesn't really change. So when the supply goes down, it looks like the sport is a lot more popular than it is. But that's just being negative. Or is it something where the demand goes up because everybody was stuck at home, and because nobody's working, the supply goes down, so we're still the same? Or is it something where we're building more because it's more popular and the demand is up, and so the sport is actually growing? Hopefully it's the latter of those three scenarios, but I don't know. You know, these guys got to release their sales report, and I'd have to look at it. I don't have that information, so now that I'm thinking about it, I probably should have looked up a little bit more on that end of it. Let's just say it's the latter, it's the third one. The sport is growing. How do we get more people involved in the sport? We have privateers. The entries are up, which is a good sign. But how do we continue to bring new audience and new riders and new fans? You change the series. I'm telling you right now, you change the series. We have a MotoGP type professional 450 class, right? Where you've got the research and development, boom. That, guys, it's an unlimited class. You know, works everything, great. We're gonna have a lot of innovation. People are gonna build special parts. It's gonna just expand. And then the 250 class, we get rid of the stupid point system for these guys can only stay in the 250 class for so long, and you get rid of that. You just turn it into a straight up stock class, and you have a production tire. There's more rules and regulation, but it's a cheap entry into professional racing. So you go buy a bike on the showroom floor and it's raceable. And the reason why it's raceable is because the rules state you can't change a damn thing on that bike, and you have to race that bike. Is that so hard? Powers that be, message me, let me know. And then chances are I just might get some more criticism, but that's okay. As for the rest of you, down in the comments below, let me know. Is this good for the sport? Is this bad for the sport? And where do you think it's going from here? I want to know. I read the shit. It makes me laugh. It makes me cry. And also, hit that like button like your WFO heading for a set of 27, oh shit, let's make it 45 whoop-de-doos. These suckers are 9 feet tall, and you're gonna die if your front wheel drops, so you need to be pegged. WFO. We wanna hear that thing scream. Hopefully you don't run out of gear or you're dead. Last thing you ever did. Gravestone. Front wheel dropped in a set of whoop-de-doos.